these are obviously fill in the blanks, so let's quickly look at it. It was the kind dash that many dash expected to prove too much. So a lot of you are coming back and saying option 3. This is a pretty straightforward question, nothing to beat around the bush, no strategies. Kind is your option 5. I know why you say option 5, because usually kind of, sort of, but these sort of expressions is usually followed by a noun form and not any other form. Okay, and if you look at 5, instant is an adjective. If it was instance, then I would have picked 5 as well, right? It was a kind of situation that many would have expected to prove too much. Not even 4. Why? Because of is missing. Instance is there, but of is missing. Dhyanesh. It was a kind instance? No. We are not talking about how bad or good or worse or kind the instance was. They are referring to some situation or instance where people expected a certain thing to happen, right? So obviously it has to be option 3 only. So I don't want an adjective describing the instance or situation, like for example, look at this moment, instance. It doesn't have a preposition, so I can't have kind describing the moment or the instance. That's not what the meaning of the context is. Okay, it was a kind of time that many shall have expected. The construction itself is absolutely incorrect for option 2. That leaves us with option 3, which is our answer. So don't get confused with 1, 4 and 5. Let's move on. The team defeated the opponent's dash after the coach has given dash. So what's your answer for this one? Again, everybody says 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Somebody said 1. Somebody said 4. Okay, so let's quickly look at these options. Let's go from, so most of you are coming back and saying 1 and 5 as well, right? Okay, now quickly, our clue word obviously from all the options is advise, 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 right? So the coach had, in terms of spot theory, sorry, I can't help it. It's a past perfect tense construction, right? The team defeated the opponents by whatever after the coach had given something, right? So here, let's see. The coach had given the advices doesn't make sense. Why? Because if I'm saying the, I'm being very specific, and then it starts with a plural noun number. For your kind information, advise is uncountable, right? The plural form of advice is not advices. Advice itself means you can give. So if I want to make it a singular form, what will I say for advice? Can somebody give me the construction? My doctor gave me some good advice, which means she could have given me more than one. But if my doctor gave one specific thing to do as an advice, how would you say that? Let me see if anybody is giving me the right answer. How would I ensure that I express the meaning of someone gave me one thing to do as an advice? How will I say that in a construction form? No. Yes. Piece of advice is correct, but that is the singular way in which you say it. Yeah, a piece of advice, right? So which means I can't say the advices. Incorrect, and that's why I will eliminate option 5 out. Okay, the same thing for option 4 also. It says advices out. Advice is correct in option 3. Option 2, advised, the past tense form doesn't make sense, grammatically incorrect. And then again I have an advice, which is incorrect, because how will I say or represent a singular thing? I will say a piece of advice. That's when I know somebody has given me one particular thing to do. Okay? Yes, by innings is correct, no problem. So that leaves us with obviously option 3 as our answer. Okay? So basically what we did is in this question, just looking at the keyword advise itself and looking at the options, because advise is an uncountable noun. I can't say advises, right? Even though you might hear people say that it's not correct usage, right? A piece of advice or advice, that's about it. So looking at that, we have eliminated a lot of incorrect answers. Let's move to the next one. We need to make dash that bidding process that we dash place is absolutely bulletproof. So most of you have come back and said option 4. Does anybody have anything different, or all of you unanimously agree that it's option 4 only? So far I'm only seeing option 4. Yeah, in terms of collocations, that's the most obvious thing, right? At least for the first blank. We can't say we need to make correct. We need to make ensure is incorrect. We need to make confirm is incorrect. We need to make verify also is incorrect, which leaves us only with make sure, because we know that's a collocation, right? So Ahmad, you've come back and said we need to make ensure. You never say that, right? Either you say we need to ensure, or we say we need to make sure. Ensure itself means what? To make sure. So you can't say that. The same thing for 5 as well. Right? You said we need to make verify. You never say that, right? We'll either say you better verify, or you need to verify, or you need to make sure. Got it? Redundant in meaning. So it cannot be option, any other option. It definitely not 2 and 5. Make sure that bidding process that we, and look at our phrasal verbs. Put out, put from, put in, put in. Obviously we know it has to be put in. Why? What is the meaning of that phrasal verb here? Put in place. And some of your friends even gave example context with that. Yeah. So that we put in place, meaning trying to implement something. We need to make sure that bidding process that we put in place, something that we have implemented, something that we have set up, is absolutely bulletproof. Yeah. So that leaves us with obviously option 4. Let's move on. As he dashed, the substitute just brushed a post dash a kick. As he dashed, the substitute just brushed a post dash a kick. So in terms of construction, the easiest thing to do in this context is look at a construction, and if you would start a sentence with as he, what is the tense that would follow? As he did something, something happened, right? So in that context, obviously it has to be option 3. As he ticked down, the substitute just brushed a post with a kick. That's it. So every other option in terms of present tense or present continuous tense, like tick in and ticking down and tick under and tick for, becomes irrelevant. So just applying tense, we eliminate the wrong answer option here. Yeah. So that leaves us with option 3. Okay. Moving on. Both the teams were unable dash rival defense as ball was dashed to midfield. And if I look at my options, everything has an infinitive form: to smash, to break, to crack, to fail, to bear. Understanding the context, what word will you choose? What infinitive will you choose? Both the teams were unable to do something about the rival defense as the ball was dashed to midfield. And keep in mind, we're talking about the ball. So what are my options for the second blank? It says held, confined, launched, confirmed, pitched. Think of the right word choice. Think of the context. Obviously, they're talking about a game, a sport, because we have the word defense, teams, midfield. These are all clue words telling us that they're referring to a sport or a game. What is our option? Yeah. Okay, football, fine. Yeah. So predominantly everybody said 2. So some of you have come back and said 5 as well, right? Because you're saying both the teams were unable to bear rival defense. Confined means, in fact, almost close to even held, right? In that particular position or area. When I confine you, it's limiting something. So if that's the case, what is the meaning of pitch, guys? See, to bear is fine as a collocation, but it's not a very effective collocation again here in the context, right? Because you're saying both the teams were unable to bear rival defense as ball was pitched to midfield. Just doesn't make sense, no? Logically, unable to bear. If I'm talking about I'm unable to bear something, I can say I'm unable to bear the heat, right? Or I'm unable to bear something that is annoying me. Maybe somebody's shouting at the top of their voice and it's really irritating me, so I'm unable to bear their voice. That makes sense. Here in the context, it doesn't make sense for you to say both the teams were unable to bear rival defense as ball was pitched to midfield. Okay, it's not a very effective reference in the context. However, both the teams were unable to break here meaning they were unable to move forward, they were unable to kind of defeat them, right, as the ball was, because they did not get a chance. It was confined, meaning from the opposition team somebody was holding the ball, not letting go of it, right, confining it to that midfield area. That's the context meaning, right? Let's go back. See, as a verb, right, the meaning of pitch is either to throw, yeah, or you toss something. So both the teams were unable to bear rival defense. Ball was thrown to midfield, again illogical, right? Kicked to midfield, illogical, because they did not get a chance to get hold of the ball. That's why they were unable to break the rival defense, right? That makes logical sense. Not that you throw the ball to midfield and they were unable to bear the rival defense. Just doesn't make sense. So our answer is option 2. Everything else is illogical given the context. We're going to move forward.